Today I want to talk about supplier-enabled innovation and procurement and how innovation is an important component of the supplier relationship management agenda. We all agree that innovation is a good thing and that smart suppliers can supplement the smart people in our organizations in generating new ideas. After finance, innovation is the lifeblood of companies and organizations that are aiming to sustain their position in their market. Without a steady flow of innovative ideas emerging from within the organization and from its supply ecosystem, then barring monopoly status, a slow decline is almost inevitable. For the typical firm today, around 70% of the cost of sales is provided by external suppliers, and so the source of innovation has really shifted from the mainly internal to the wider supply network, or at least it should do. The innovation agenda now goes beyond the boundaries of the organization, and the notion of working in a collaborative way with key suppliers to capture the best ideas has become firmly established as one of the keys to future competitive advantage and procurement practice. Consequently, improving functionality, utility and the value of a company's products and services to customers has become a key responsibility of the CPO and the professionals in their team. Nowadays, innovation can be found embedded in mature supplier relationship management practices, and yet successful innovation capture from suppliers is patchy and the attention brought to it sporadic. As an example, in the Deloitte Global CPO survey of last year, supplier-enabled innovation was considered a lower priority value lever than savings delivery, cost avoidance, procurement operating efficiency, supplier performance management, internal customer satisfaction, and supplier compliance. In the same Deloitte survey, only 23% of CPO respondents considered supplier collaboration a priority. Perhaps we've reached a point when we all agree that innovation is important, but are not so sure about how to create the environment where it becomes a business as usual activity. Regardless of its priority for CPOs, innovation is still an important part of supplier relationship management. So let's root it within SRM. For the sake of clarity, I will offer my definition of SRM, which I've used now for many years. I believe SRM is the deliberate pursuit and systematic management of post-contract value from the organization's key supplier relationships. It's deliberate and it's the systematic application of a number of repeatable activities, all designed to mine for additional value from engagement with suppliers. There isn't time to review what it takes to set up cross-functional teams to develop engagement strategies for specific suppliers, but it's worth taking a few moments to reflect on the typical outcomes from SRM. Firstly, there is the practice of protecting value. This involves the often undervalued areas of contract and performance management. The aim is for practitioners to minimize value leakage from their key supplier relationships, poor performance, quality failures, cost escalation. To minimize that leakage, practitioners need to be good at setting up and running supplier performance reviews, ideally ensuring suppliers and internal stakeholders participate, and then providing updates to senior management. Then there is contract and risk management, which is about establishing contract and risk management policies and procedures. Both are necessary despite a certain degree of box ticking that's involved. Moving on to value development, this is about building on the good practices underpinning protecting value, and as such is incremental. Those familiar with supply development practices will recognize that this is typically about generating operational improvement. The focus is on improving ways of working in order to generate savings. Process innovation resides here, the question being, can we, the buying organization, and the supplier do things better? Typical practices here revolve around process improvement, the ability to deploy lean and agile methods that can help identify and remove waste in the value chain, and transparency and data sharing to understand where additional value may be hidden. The ability of procurement professionals in negotiating cost transparency with suppliers is a prerequisite here. Crucial also is that practitioners are skilled in convincing suppliers of the merit of collaboration whilst designing incentives like benefit sharing. More on that topic in a later video. What is of particular importance here is for practitioners not to attempt to run before they can walk. Diving into value development activity before ensuring performance, contract and risk management is under control can be wasteful in itself. Value or supply development activities cost money, including the time of skilled people. Even if they were to generate modest savings, this could be dwarfed by the wasteful cost of delivery or quality problems, never mind the staff required to put in daily fixes to what is often routine failure. I call this the leaky bucket problem. This also goes for the third level of SRM value outcome, value transformation. This value transformation is the fashionable end of SRM practice, where collaboration with key suppliers is supposed to encourage innovation, co-design and co-investment. Here there is a chance for advanced relationship management to become standard practice. I highlight these three levels of SRM and innovation's place in value transformation because although everyone talks about innovation, practitioners are much less certain about how to make it happen routinely than they are with performance, contract and risk management. Like I've suggested, procurement needs to achieve a degree of mastery and value protection and value development before getting too ambitious about securing a ready-made pipeline of new ideas from suppliers. In other words, get the basics right first. So think about your own challenges in respect of supplier-enabled innovation. Have you thought about how your organization will measure and gain tangible results from chasing innovative ideas from suppliers? Are you doing enough to help establish sufficient momentum and sustain everyone's, including your internal colleagues' interest and time allocated to creative endeavors? Is your organization's desire for setting formal targets for all things procurement going to increase innovation, or is setting targets going to be an unnecessary distraction, perhaps even inhibiting creativity? Are you and your colleagues, particularly the CFO, sufficiently clear about who is going to gain the spoils from innovation? Your organization, the supplier, or both? I'll say more about all these questions in another video.